Hi, it's Dorothy Guinan with Scrapbooking Quebec. I'm back with video 4 in my 7-part mini-series, Power Scrapping. In this series, I'm sharing a fun and fast, streamlined approach to using collections. In the first 3 videos, I introduced and organized my kit, 49 and Market's Sunburst collection, along with Stash. In today's video, I'll be creating a layout, the first of 3 in this series. If you watched video 3, I will be using page kit number 3. It should come together quickly because many of my decisions have already been made. I've selected the paper and photos, and I even made page designs. So let's get started. So here's what's on my desk. Basically, it's the contents of page pack number 3. I put that together in video number 3. So I'm going to show you the sketch that I drew up here. So you can see it's for a double page. My plan in this video is to do the page that's on the left. I consider that the focal point page. The complementary page is just going to be an easy grid, and you will see that in my layout share at the end of this series. For today's video, my plan is to create basically a layered photo mat with 3 papers, and that's going to go underneath that photo along with the file. You can see my black and white paper. All I have left of that is a strip because I cut out a huge chunk of it. That's going to be for the complementary page. So now I'm going to show you the foundation page, and on my sketch I drew 2 areas where I plan to put embellishment clusters, and my decision for that was quite simply made by the foundation page. If you look at it, the imaging is at the bottom left and the top right. That's going to be where I build my clusters. So you're going to see in this tray I have beside me, I took the embellishment packs and I basically narrowed my selection. So this is one embellishment pack. I emptied that in video 3. Those are a bunch of file folders and envelopes. That is already in my page pack. But with the 3 other embellishment packs, which was chipboard titles, ephemera pieces, and laser cut flowers and foliage, I kind of removed some embellishments from those packages, and I basically selected them by color. So I selected anything that was pink, green, white, or black. That's what I'm showing you right now. And you're going to see later on in my video, I do another triage and I kind of narrow down my choices again. I also have some alphas. Those are from Simple Stories. Those I put in my kit in video 1. Now what I'm going to do is start creating that layered photo mat. Now on my sketch, I kind of just drew 3 blocks of paper. It wasn't actually my design. That was just a reminder to me to take my paper and create a layered photo mat. So that's what I'm doing now. I will put measurements on the screen, but I do want you to keep in mind, I kind of wing it at this point in the process. So my measurements really aren't that important. Basically, I have no choice or not much choice with that black and white paper because I only have a strip of it. So all I did was kind of trim it off a bit towards the bottom. For the other 2, all I knew is that I wanted them to be in different sizes so that I could layer them up. And I also knew that that green paper, I wanted it to be wide enough to accommodate that pink file with photo. Also, I did ink up all of the edges. I like doing that when I create layered photo mats. And the ink I used was Morning Mist by VersaFine Clair. So there you see me layering up my layered photo mat, just making sure that I can see all the layers, but that they are all kind of overlapping each other. I want to show you something else. I am going to be placing this on a 49 in Market paper, and that style is very distinct with their printed paper with big images on it. I am taking more of a solid piece of cardstock here. That's another 49 in Market paper, and just plopping that layered photo mat in the middle, just to give you an idea. I can use this very same page design. It does not have to be 49 in Market material. Create that layered photo mat, place 2 embellishment clusters, and I still have a great page design. I just wanted to point that out because maybe you're following along and you're not using 49 in Market material. So back to what I'm doing here today. You can see I am adhering my layered photo mat to the page. I am bumping up mine directly on the right-hand side of the page. I'm fussing a bit here, thinking that I may have not properly cut my paper. So you saw me testing there. I actually stopped the camera at one point and I kind of measured them. Everything honestly was fine. I was just trying to do this a little too quickly, and it is something that happens when I have a tripod over my head. So there you see it. I did stop my camera, and now what you see me doing is adhering the final block, the green one, to my foundation page. So now what I want to do is work with that folder and my photo. So my plan for that folder is to turn it into a pocket and tuck things in it. I'm going to add extra photos and journaling. So you can see me coming in with some adhesive there, and basically I am just taping up the sides to create a pocket. Then what I'm going to do is adhere this folder that is now a pocket on top of that green block. I'm going to position it close to the bottom because I do know I plan to have elements sticking out from the top, so I want there to be room for that. So once I fuss around and adhere this, then I will adhere my photo on top. I use this very same adhesive that I used to kind of create the pocket behind that file folder because it is an interactive element. And when I have interactive elements on a page, I like to use a really heavy duty tape. So my photos there, now I'm showing you my embellishments. On the tray, I'm showing you there that I did kind of narrow down my choices, including my title. So the title is going to be Vacay Vibes, Relax and Recharge. So Vacay comes from those alphas from Simple Stories that I slipped in my kit in the first video, and the other words were from the chipboard title pack from this collection, this 49 in Market Sunburst collection. So on this tray, again, I've narrowed down my choices that I had already narrowed down. I do end up digging into the main tray later on, but right now I've just narrowed my choices. You can see I have two bigger elements that I tucked in the pocket. That's where I plan to add extra photos and some journaling. And again, my plan is to create two main embellishment clusters kind of in the bottom left and the top right. So what I have here is just kind of a handful of different tags, tickets, stuff like that. I've got some foliage, I've got some flowers, I have a bit of twine there. And I'm going to start creating the main embellishment cluster, which is going to be in the bottom left. I'm starting with that green ticket, which is already on the foundation page, so I'm literally repeating what is already there. I bring in some pink flowers and I kind of overlap the flamingo, so now it looks like the flamingo is peeking out from behind the leaves that are already on the foundation page and the flowers that I placed on top of it. Now you see me coming in with those title pieces, so I kind of like how that looks, and I also tucked in a few extra leaves on the right hand side of that green ticket, and that basically extends out that embellishment cluster, so it's almost like an L in the bottom left corner. I'm playing around with a few other small items, but I can't make a decision, so what I decide to do at this point is start adhering this cluster. Now I do come back in and add finishing touches towards the end of the video. But I do like to adhere the main parts down. I like how it looks, so I'm just going to start adhering. So you can see I have my leaves on the page. I put the flower pieces. Now I'm coming with the ticket. I made sure that one of the floral leaves kind of overlap the ticket. Now I'm putting the title using my T-square. I don't make you watch all of that. I like to take my time putting titles down just to make sure I get them nice and straight. So now you can see vacay is down, and what I'm doing is adding a little bit of foam adhesive behind the chipboard word vibe so that I can pop it up and just slightly overlap the word vacay, and underneath that I'm adding a black chipboard word that says relax and recharge. So again, I know I want to add more to that, but I'm working on the opposite corner. So again, most of what's on the foundation page has already been covered up. that's okay. I'm going to be able to see a bit of the leaves. And now you see me kind of playing around with the layers because I do have a few layers to work with. I decide to tuck everything behind that green block. So I have two different leaves, a floral cluster. At this point, I have a tag. I like the idea of a tag, but that does get switched up a bit. I'm just going to look in with my other embellishing. I have this one here that says Paradise. I do like that. It ends up on my layout, but not at the top where you see me putting it right there. Now, once again, I'm going into my big tray and just looking for something, and I find a tag that has a flamingo. So I like that because it's kind of repeating the flamingo that's in the bottom cluster. That does end up staying. So what I'm going to do right now is start adhering. What you saw me try to use there with that yellow paper is an adhesive called Sticky Specs. It's great for detailed pieces, and what I'm adhering right now is very detailed, but I was worried that I would rip it using the Sticky Specs, so instead I went in with my regular adhesive. That Sticky Specs is really, really strong stuff. I adhere the other leaf, the other floral piece, and then I'm going to come in with the tag. I know I'm going to want to add something extra to the tag. I just don't know what at this point. So again, I will save that for my finishing touches at the end of this video. Now what I'm going to do is work on that file folder in the middle. So on that green one, I plan to add two photos, one in front and one in back. And the fact that it peeks out is going to be a great indicator that there's something to look at in that pocket. Those are just extra photos. What you see me doing right now is notching with a small punch. That punch almost looks like a little cross, but the edges are kind of rounded. And I'm using it to create a little half circle at the top and the bottom of that card. And I'm going to use that for placement of twine that I'm going to wrap around this card, and it looks really, really nice. That notching idea for twine, Shannon Allure from She's Crafty recently did a video. I think it was for a little mini album. It was really cool. And it seems to me she used that technique or that idea of notching to add a string. I absolutely loved it. I've never thought of it before, so I'm kind of copying her. I thought it was a great idea. It just works perfectly to secure that twine in place. I'm actually trimming down the twine because I'm hoping to conserve a little bit of it for that tag with the flamingo on it, but I really don't have enough, so I end up having to use something else for that because that's all of that black and white twine that I have. Anyway, what you see me doing right now is adding knots to the end just so that it doesn't, I should say, fray. I'm happy with that. And now what I'm going to do is adhere that photo on top of it. So I'm actually quite thrilled with how that looks. Again, it's just an extra photo, but why not add it in my album? Now on that postcard that I'm tucking in as well, that's where I plan to do my journaling, but I really love that Paradise piece of ephemera. So I basically just tape it to the postcard, and that's just to add a little bit of interest to that pocket as well. So I'm quite thrilled with this. I'm pretty much close to the end. I do want to add some finishing touches. So you're going to see me once again dig into that main tray there. And what I'm looking for right now is small pink flowers. So even though I have two big pink floral clusters that I added to those clusters already, what I'm doing is taking some smaller ones and I'm going to pop them right up on top of the floral clusters that I already put on the page. And that's just going to add a bit of dimension to those clusters. So I end up putting one just at the bottom left of the page around the title just to introduce a bit of pink in that area. And then I pop one up in the cluster just above the word vacay. And also you can see me right now, I popped one up just in that block above the photo in the top right. Now I'm looking for something black to put in that cluster in the top just to kind of repeat the black that's in my title there, Vacay Vibes. I come around, I'm playing with a few word pieces there, and in the end you can see I ended up adhering the word smile on top of the photo. So that's just a piece of chipboard. And what else did I do here? I added a black enamel dot to that tag just above the photo. And finally, I added one butterfly in that cluster in the top as well. But basically, that is it. And the page design I shared today can be used over and over again. With different photos, colors, paper, embellishments, it's going to look different every time. I plan to do a layout share at the end of this series, and I will share another layout using the very same page design, so you're going to see what I mean. The next video in this series will be a page 2 design, a simple grid I often create to pair with a more fancy design like the page I created today. And hopefully video 5 will go up next week. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, Scrapbooking Quebec, I would love it if you did. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.